Hello everyone, this is Lawrence A. Robinson of CommunitySteeple.com and Community Steeple Media Network. Police brutality is in the news all over the country right now. Police brutality against black people is widespread. It's filmed, it's talked about on the news, but when confronted, city leaders seem to just hold a community meeting and promise to study the issue. They promise to do a full and fair self-investigation. But at the end of the day, nothing really happens. Nothing really changes. The status quo stays the same. Attorney Natalie Jackson has been involved in these cases, and now she is sick and tired and has reached her last straw on this issue. Hello, Natalie. How are you?
Hi, Lawrence. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you very much for coming on and talking about this. I read a little bit about Noelle Carter. I've actually written an article or two about it, and looks like there's been some major changes in that. And, of course, everyone will recognize your name from the Trayvon Martin, the Bird case, and who else?
I've done the Bree Love shooting. I also did the barbershop raid. And these are all important issues in our community and important civil rights cases for people of color in our community.
Excellent. Okay. Tell us what's going on with this Noelle Carter case now.
Well, first I have to say I have read your articles on Noelle Carter, and thank you so much for keeping this in the forefront with Community Steeple. Noelle Carter, he was a banker here from Miami. He doesn't live in Orlando, but he came to visit a friend in Miami. There's a videotape of him being kicked, beaten, shoved, tased by police officers. And this was a citizen who videotaped it, a concerned citizen who just happened to be looking out her window, and she videotaped it. During the encounter, after the encounter, Noelle Carter was arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, battery on both of the law enforcement officers, and resisting arrest without violence. The important part of his case is that there was no reason to even detain Noelle Carter, let alone to beat him and to kick him while he was being passive and sitting on a curb. And it's all there for people to see. The thing that happened today, which is just so incredible to anyone who has been following this case, is the state attorney has now charged Noelle Carter with 2 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer, and 2 felony counts of battery on a law enforcement officer, and 2 misdemeanors, one of battery and one of resisting arrest without violence.
Okay, so they arrested him and charged him with battery on an officer and resisting arrest. What is resisting arrest?
Resisting arrest is a general charge that is just used, that police, we see it in all these cases, that police just use when they have nothing else to say. It's really that they were encountering you and you somehow resisted being arrested by them. The thing that citizens need to know about resisting arrest, though, is that they have to have a reason to encounter and detain you.
Okay.
So, but in many of these cases, what we see is that people are charged with resisting arrest by police officers who never had a reason to detain them. And in these cases, just like in Noelle's case, they usually either get thrown out or they go to trial and we win at trial. The problem is that it's not over for the person. Noelle is a banker. He's a college student. He's worked very hard to get in the position that he's in. He has no prior criminal record. But now, because of these officers who were caught on video abusing him, because their report is being used to charge him. The state attorney is using the report of the abuser to charge Noelle Carter.
Right.
Because of that, he has been arrested. He has an arrest record now. He has a clerk of court record now. He has a mug shot that's all over the internet now. He has been charged and accused of battering the abuser. This is just ridiculous. And it's not over. Even though we are very sure we will win this criminal trial, the thing is that Noelle's life has been altered irrevocably. And especially in the work that he does, he's a banker and a wealth manager.
Wow.
So all you have to do is Google, and all of this stuff comes up that is not true about him. That the that the chief of police, John Nina, has put out there. That the mayor of Orlando, Bobby Dyer, has put out there, and now that the state attorney has put out there. And we used to be able, prior to the age of the internet, you could expunge this type of stuff. But now, even though we will expunge the official government record, because of the internet, this stuff is not expungible. And so it ruins people's lives, and we're expected to just sit back. This should really be the last straw for Orlando citizens. And not just because it's Noelle, but because of all the other abuses that we've seen. And the citizenship not being responsive to Black Lives Matter issues. I really think that it really should just get at the heart of us, because I always say that Noelle is a banker. It doesn't matter that he's a banker, because really it should not matter, let me say that, in the justice system, because justice is blind. He could be whoever. But the reason that I always point out that he's a banker is to wake up sleeping middle-class Black people and let them know this happened to Noelle Carter. It can happen to you.
Exactly. And so we need to get together and do something. What do you suggest we do?
Well, I think there's a bunch of things that we do. We need to make sure, and I think one of the things we need to do right now is to reject this whole let's just wait, let's just listen. We have heard, they have shown us how they feel about Black lives. The leadership has. So I think what we need to do is really get together, and we can do some things as Orlando citizens. One of the important things for your listeners to know is that Orlando is over 50% Black and Latino. I don't think a lot of people know that.
Really?
We have the power.
Wow. No, I didn't know that. I thought it was closer to 30-something%. But
no, it is 30-something% only Black.
Okay.
But when you add a Latino and you add just other people of color, biracial and such, you get over 50%.
Wow.
We are the majority.
Wow.
We should not be begging for crumbs at the table of Orlando leadership and begging for our children not to be killed.
Wow. Okay. That is very interesting. We have got to do something. And all right, so I will stay on this, and I will continue to push this.
I was going to tell you what we can do, so let me tell you that. The first thing that is going to happen is that there's a group of concerned citizens that are forming a political pact. If your listeners don't know what a pact is it's an organization where you can contribute anonymously. Because I know some people work for the city, or they have family or friends in the city, where you can contribute anonymously. And this money will be pooled together to support certain campaigns of politicians and certain issues and certain legislative issues. The reason that this is important is because you have to have money to challenge the political structure. So I would encourage everyone, and what they can do is, once this pact is formed, to let people know about this pact and to donate to it. The second thing that we can do is we can help register more people of color in Orlando. We have an election coming up. The election for Orlando City leadership is coming up on November 3rd. The last day to register to vote is October 15th. So what we need is we need to make sure that we pool our political power as people of color. We need to get our family, our friends, our children to go register to vote by October 1st. And that way we can show this power structure that we are united in these issues. The third thing that people can do is start asking questions of the current leadership to see where they stand on these issues for yourself. So see where they stand. And if they're not responsive to the issues that you are concerned about, it doesn't have to be Noelle Carter. It could be anything that is affecting Orlando's people of color community. So if they're not responsive to your issues, then you need to let people know we got to vote them out.
Right.
The fourth thing you can do is start looking at the candidates that are running. If you don't like the candidates that are in office right now, start vetting the candidates that are running.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you're interested in running, the deadline to register to run, the deadline for registering to run for an elective office in Orlando is August 30th or August 31st. I'm not sure. You need to go ahead and qualify. The qualifying fee, I think, is $1,600.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to run, you need to qualify, and you need to let people know who you are and where you stand on the issues. But those are the things that we can do right now, and those are the things we need to do.
Okay.
We need to have a voice. We are the majority, and we are begging for crumbs at the table.
That is unreal. 50%. Wow. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I will put this out there, and I will keep putting it out there. And I want to thank you very much for coming on and letting us know about what's going on and giving us ideas of what we can do and should do and start doing right now.
Much. Thank you, Lawrence. Like I said, I really appreciate your voice in the community. Thank you for having me on.
Okay. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.